Hi guys, welcome to my lab. So this is a flap indicator. So you can see that this thing has seen better days. It has received a very large shock. So the cover is totally destroyed in this area here. So I think it will be a bit difficult to remove the cover, but actually it is in aluminium. So I think it should not be so complicated. You will see. On the rear of this instrument, you have a traditional circular connector, and you can see the island plate on this instrument. So you have also a sticker here. So this thing was verified in 1990. And on the front, we have also some bulbs on the bottom of this instrument. The cover is missing for this one. So let's try to open this thing to see what is inside. So I think I will try to remove this part here, like a can opener. And after, if I succeed to open this side here, maybe it can be easy to open it from these two sides here. So let's try to open this side here. I will start to remove this adhesive here. So I will try with this kind of pliers. Okay, so I think it can be possible to remove the cover now. We try to remove these two screws on the rear of this instrument. And normally the cover should be removed easily. Yes. So we have the two belts here. Okay, so we can see that there is a white marking. And the second one is on the left. It's exactly the same mechanism. So we have two small AC motors. Probably here, yes. And this one and this one. Everything is symmetrical anyway. So we find this a small three-phase resolver here in order to measure the actual position of the belt. So we have two of them, of course. And we have this little thing. I don't know exactly the purpose, because it is not electrical anyway, because there is no wires. So I don't know exactly what is the purpose of this mechanical cylinder here. Ah yes, it is a spring probably in order to, yes, okay, in order to retrieve the off position. So you have a transformer here for the power supply. And we have a nice board on the bottom of this instrument with the conformal coating. It seems the conformal coating is very hard. I think it will be difficult to make a measurement on it. Yes. It will be very difficult. I have a relay here. So probably it is to indicate that there is a difference between these two indications, right and left. And here we have some known parts. We have a 555 here. So we have 5402. It is a gate, but I don't remember exactly. It is a OR gate or AND gate or something like that. And we have in the other direction this part here is oh yes, 54, 52. We have also the A75. Oh, yes, a CA7041. Yes, it's an op-amp. Classic one. Here we have a dual 747. And here we have some transistors in TO39. Yes, we have another one I didn't see here. Yes, so this one is identical to this one. This board should be used for the servo control. So we have here, also we have always the same part on this kind of instrument. We have here, which shows this board like this. It should be better. So we have here a dual op-amp, 747. It should be the same here, yes. We have a single op-amp, 741, and here we should have two transistors, medium power. Here we have a bridge rectifier here, some passive parts. We should have the same board on the other side here, probably. Yeah, because we see this capacitor. It is the same than this one. And here we have I don't know what is this part. It's written Pico D1490. There are 5 pins, maybe a relay. So this thing should be supplied by an AC voltage, of course, and we have this transformer. So probably a 115 volt. It should be interesting to do some tests on this thing and try to make working the unit. But for that I will need first to do a small reverse engineering of this board, of this control board. This one will be a little bit more complicated. I think this board is just maybe... So this board is in common with these two boards. So first I think there is a comparison. As I said, with this relay, which permits to compare the two indications here, right and left. It was the same stuff than in the previous flap indicators. This is a close view of this board. We'll try to find the input of the transformer. For that I will remove this board first. So we can see the date code also of this board. It's date code is 77, 78. So this transistor is a GAN, so it's a military specification, to N1132. I don't know. Okay, so the transformer here, there are several connections on these terminals here, 1, 2, 3. So I guess these are the secondaries, and they should go to the 3 boards. So normally the primary should be this one. 4 and 5 because they are the only terminals with only one wire. The other ones have 2 wires and 3 for these ones. So normally we should find also these terminals on the rear connector, so we can check with a continuity tester. Okay, we have this one, and the other one should be closed. Yeah, 6 ohms, so it should be not so close, but okay, this is this one. So normally the primary side are connected to these 2 terminals here. So we have 6 ohms resistance here. So we can try to apply maybe a 26 volt and to see that maybe it's a 26 volt AC, or I don't know. We'll try and we'll see the voltage on the secondary. We have connected the primary to the input of an amplifier. The amplifier is connected to a function generator. So we can see here a multimeter, so we can check the voltages. So at the input of the transformer, here we have a voltage of 8.6 volt RMS at 400 Hz. So we can see that at this secondary we have a voltage of 2 volt, and on the other one we have 0.7 volt, and probably the same thing. Okay, so this is the secondary with the middle point to have a positive and a negative DC voltage. So normally, effectively, if we have a 115 volt here, so you have something like more than 10 times this value. So we should have here a voltage of 10 volt or something like that RMS, and here we should have more than 20 volt, 30 volt or something like that. 26 volt maybe for the resolvers here. These resolvers, I think, I know the voltage is 11.8 volt. 11.8, so probably this should be this voltage. So that's the end for today. I will try to make a first reverse engineering of one of these boards, and after we'll try to understand how this thing works, and after we can make some tests on it as usual. So I think this will be a 3 parts here done. So that's the end for this first part. So see you next time for the schematics analysis.